Welcome to Friday night, and it is football night here in Lawndale. The Cardinals are hosting the Tartars from Torrance, and what a game it's going to be. The double wing formation against the pro set offense of the Cardinals, and boy, are they flying high. Good evening, everybody, from Lawndale High School, from the Cardinals Nest, along with Darius Jackson. He'll be covering the Torrance Tartars, and our old buddy Sebastian Spencer will be covering the Lawndale Cardinals. And boy, what a team this Torrance team is. They always have a great double wing formation, and they're going to keep running these guys out there, multiple running backs, and it's going to be fun to watch the Cardinals try to stop that action.
It sure is, actually. This team, you know, the record does not define who they are. They are 1-3. They lost some heartbreakers. They've been in every single game they've been in so far this year. And they come out here and they think that they could go ahead and beat this 4-0 Lawndale Cardinals team with Jordan Wilmore at running back. And Coach Hollis says that this team, they're tired of losing, and I believe it. We're looking to go ahead and see a really good game from the Tartars tonight, and I'm excited.
Yeah, the Tartars are 1-3. Rock Hollis always has a good program. They have that feeder program in Torrance that brings them all up, and there's a big size difference up front on the lines, but Torrance doesn't seem to mind that as Lawndale comes in a heavy favorite.
Yeah, you know what? Lawndale's been playing some great football on the season so far. Got away from San Pedro last week, scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter to get away to remain undefeated. Probably their biggest test to date last week, but you know what? They're going to face another test tonight. And just like you talked about, that offense that they run is going to be very tough for these guys to stop them, only because there's so many young, inexperienced guys on the defensive end. But we'll definitely see if they can handle it tonight.
And Torrance only passes about 5 to 7 times a ball game, so it's really going to be fascinating to see what the Lawndale Cardinals bring on defense. Jordan Wilmore last week, 200 yards flat, so he is on pace again to maybe break that 2,000-yard barrier. It's going to be the Cardinals and the Tartars coming up next.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back up top here at Lawndale High School, where they're just about ready to do the coin toss, and we'll go down to referee Waymond Wiley, and with him is umpire Bob Doty, and head linesman Herb Thompson, line judge Samuel Sutherland, and the back judge is going to be Justin Wiley. That is a relation there. He's Waymond's kid, so a white hat and a back judge. So tonight's game, there you see the Tartars getting ready to go. And number 10 there, that's Nicholas Ehlers. And now we're asking for the captains. Waymond Wiley is, or Wiley, I should say. Look at that beautiful sunset. Just an absolutely gorgeous sunset tonight. And so there's going to be, there has been a lot of fog this evening, but it's cooperating pretty nicely, the weather is.
Yeah, it sure is. The weather is starting to go ahead and cool down now. We're hitting that time of the year. Fall has just begun. And now it looks like I'm going to have to start wearing double layers calling these games.
All right, let's go down and see the coin toss. Okay, so it appears that Lawndale may have won the toss but deferred as Paolo Bailey blocked out Waymond Wiley. And they're going to defer, so Torrance will receive the ball so that Lawndale can have it beginning the third quarter.
It looks like also a message sent by Coach Clark as well from Lawndale. You know, Torrance is with that wing T offense. It's all about winning at the line of scrimmage. And we know Lawndale, they have a pretty good front seven ahead of them. So they can set the bar really high if they're able to go ahead and get a stop right away to start off this game.
Absolutely, and that was one of the aspects of this game that Coach Hollis of Torrance was talking about, was if they're, or how the Cardinals will be defending the double wing offense.
It's definitely an old school offense that you rarely see nowadays. Even in the next level, in the college level, you would see teams like Air Force or Georgia Tech, Navy, those kind of schools that run this offense. It's a very rare offense that you'll see, and you have to playing against this offense before I actually played against Torrance. You really have to go ahead and emphasize on this offense, especially on the defensive side. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
Alex Perez getting ready to kick the ball off to either Ethan Myers, nearest to us, or Eric Suarez, number 6. And here we go. Suarez picks up the ball at about his own 5-yard line, and the defense gets down there in a hurry, but Suarez gets through to about the 30-yard line, 35-yard line, and that's where Torrance will start it off.
That's a very good return there by Eric Suarez. Almost to midfield. Looks like they can go ahead and get a first down. That would set them up near midfield and get this thing rolling for Torrance. This is a team that thinks that they can win any game that they're in, despite their record. 1-3, but I don't think that their record defines who they are.
It sure doesn't seem like it, and even Coach Hollis was not upset by being 1-3 at all. They started off losing at Marina High School, 26-15, and they're toughening up. In Culver City, they lost 48-20, and there you see that now unfamiliar double wing offense. The man in motion, you're going to see that a lot. Somebody moved. Might have been Jerome Duhon, who's their Mr. Everything in this offense.
Jerome Duhon, that is someone I'm looking forward to running the ball.
5 yards, first down.
But against a Lawndale team that's 4-0, you don't want to go ahead and start off by making these early mistakes, especially penalties. That's going to go ahead and kill a drive. You know, you had a good return out to the 36-yard line. Now you have to move it back.
You got a right guard or a right tackle there, number 63, Tony DaCosta. He's 6'1", 270, looks every bit of it. A little bit of a swing pass, and that's to Myers. Myers making some good yardage, gets back to 5 and then some, and is finally tackled by the Cardinals.
That was Ethan Myers there. Something you don't really see from Torrance. You know, it's good completion there on the swing route. Cutting upfield, gaining some yards after losing it, but looks like there's a penalty on the play.
Holding.
Oh, boy. There it is. Again, you know, 2 penalties to start off the drive after a really good return there. This is a drive killer right now. Now it's what, 1st and 25. You're losing 15 yards. That's definitely not a good way for Torrance. And now they definitely have an uphill battle to go ahead and get this first down.
So 2nd down and a whole lot. And 25 yards for Torrance. And yeah, you definitely can see they can move the ball. But in the record book, and there's the misdirection play, running it over the middle. And it was Duhon carrying the ball and maybe got a yard out of it. So it's 3rd and 24 from the 21-yard line. So you can see the defense all bunched up for the Cardinals. Even the cornerbacks are up in there. They got about 8 in the box, actually 10 in the box. Ball is handed off, and nothing doing there. Was that Nicholas Ehlers? Or no, that was number 18, excuse me, Nathan Gottlieb, the quarterback, keeping the ball.
And there's that statement Coach Clark wants to make, sending out his good front seven against this wing T offense. Stuff in the hole already the first 2 plays. Haven't even gained a yard yet. Looking at 3rd and 25, obviously the penalties is what killed this drive. And now you just hope that they can go ahead and at least get some type of manageable yards just so they can go ahead and be in good position for a punt here.
They actually have a man split wide, and the pitch goes to the left side, and that's Myers. Myers is buried for a loss. So the quickness of the Lawndale defense showing off right there. And it's going to be 4th down and 25 yards to go. So a loss on the play of 2 yards on that run.
Although Torrance plays that power football, you could just see where the front seven of Lawndale is just bigger and more physical than they are. It's going to be an uphill battle for them to go ahead and even drive down the field.
Left foot punts, a knuckleball. And that's picked up by Wilmore at the 34. Wilmore is tackled by Nathan Carrillo after a nice return.
Jordan Wilmore, this guy, he is ridiculous, this young man right here. Looking forward to see what he's going to be able to do today. Torrance does have a big task on defense. It is just definitely an uphill battle for them in general on both sides of the ball. But the game plan for them is to definitely circle number 1 and try to stop him like every team does when they play Jordan Wilmore and the Cardinals.
Jalen Hamler, the quarterback, the senior, out of the shotgun. Wilmore into block, and it was a good thing he did. And the throw downfield, and it's almost caught on a circus try by Ryan Wells. But a good block by Wilmore, or Hamler would have been toast.
A great blitz pickup right here. As you see, Hamler has enough time in the pocket. It looks like he was a little bit on a little quick feet right there. Was not able to get himself settled in. Overthrew the receiver wide open there. That was an easy, easy touchdown right there, if you ask me. I think a throw that you could have made, Lou.
Yeah, if it was maybe 5 yards and in. You see big old number 72 in there, and shoot, we don't have his number on our roster. But the reverse goes to Blackman. Jonathan Blackman gets about 5 yards. And he was tackled on the play by Nathan Gottlieb.
Jonathan Blackman, one of the quicker receivers that you'll see out here today. On the reverse play, brought down, was able to get some good yardage there, make it 3rd down and really manageable for this Lawndale offense. No Jordan Wilmore yet, but we'll see what they do here on 3rd down. Most likely a passing situation.
5 receivers in the pattern, trips to the left. Wilmore in the block, picks up again, and the Torrance, look out, the ball was dropped by Hamler. And still, after getting away from it, lost 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, Jalen Hamler right now, he looks a little bit unsettled in the pocket right now. Good protection from his offensive line, and you can just see where his feet is still dancing. Take a look right here, where he's just not really set in the pocket right now. It's good protection, and starts collapsing right there, but
and he dropped the ball, but he bounced right back to him.
Fortunate right there for Lawndale right there. They caught a big break.
Perez with the punt, and it's a beauty, going all the way back to the 16-yard line.
So good stop right there from Torrance after a disastrous first drive from the offense. And knowing this offense of the Cardinals side with Jordan Wilmore and Jalen Hamler at quarterback, anything is possible. So they have themselves also 3 and out as well. So back comes out this offense. And first and foremost, let's not have any penalties to start off a drive, right?
I'm sure that's been the word from Coach Hollis and the offensive coaches. So Gottlieb leads him out under center, way down underneath, pitches it, and a beautiful Open field tackle by Lawndale. After Eric Suarez had it. And just watch this tackle.
Well, like Jonathan Watson was able to shed the block from a receiver. A poor block from the wide receiver on Torrance side allowed number 27, Jonathan Watson, to make that play. Big tackle for loss.
So that was Eric Colvin on the carry. Number 22 for Torrance. Lost 3 yards. At that time, Jerome Duhon tried to get some yardage back, but ends up losing another yard. So it's going to be 3rd down and 14.
Even though it was not a penalty, it was equivalent to a false start that last play. And once again, they started off the drive losing yards. Against these kind of teams, against the better teams out here, you know, a 4-0 team, you can't start off drives losing yards. Otherwise, you're in a deep hole right here in this 3rd down.
Ball is handed off straight up the middle, and again, nothing doing as they handed the ball off to Eric Colvin. And a nice stop on that one. Well, we're going to have to find out who number 25 is. That list is growing. Okay, so it's going to be 4th and a whole bunch, maybe a yard back for Colvin. So 4th, and we'll call it 13.
Let's see if they're going to go ahead and kick towards Jordan Wilmore, which they do, and plenty of space for this guy.
Slips at the 33-yard line, gets up to the 45, the 50, has one man to beat there, and gets into Torrance territory at the 45-yard line. Another terrific return for Jordan Wilmore. Going to call that a 23-yard return.
You would think when you see, you know, 2 returners on the side, you'll kick to the one that's not named Jordan Wilmore, as you see a touchdown saving tackle from Torrance right there. A little slippery out there. Great vision though, nice burst up field. Adam Mendoza making a tackle, big time tackle for Adam Mendoza and Torrance. But we'll see what this Lawndale offense, does right now.
Harrison Mingan is the punter, and the throw downfield, man wide open, and it is dropped, just flat dropped by Ryan Wells. So it's 1st and 10.
And that's unfortunate too, because after what it seems to be a shaky first series from Jalen Hamler, he was able to, beautiful touch pass, drop by Ryan Wells. And that's the fundamentals right here. Just a routine catch to make.
He took his eye off the ball and looked like he was looking at Eric Suarez. So out of the shotgun now, Hamler with Wilmore beside him. Wilmore with his first carry of the game gets to the 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line. So there's your first down right there. 15 yards on the play and a first down for Wilmore.
Almost surprising it took this long for us to see a Jordan Wilmore carry, but maybe that was Coach Clark trying to go ahead and throw Torrance a little bit, you know, off the script there by seeing, 3 passes already from Jalen Hamler?
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, just you don't want to unwrap the present that early. You don't want to unwrap your best Christmas present on Christmas Eve.
My parents always made me wait in the morning.
And that one, Hamler just overthrew
that was behind him.
Wilmore.
That was behind him. That's a fumble. They're going to count that as a fumble. That's yards lost right there. Oh, yeah. Let's look back at that. Yep. Looks like that was behind Jalen Hamler there.
Yes, sure does. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's a big loss on the play. All the way back to almost the original line of scrimmage at the 43.
Yep, you could see where the ball landed compared to where where Jalen Hamler initially threw. Jalen Hamler right now a little shaky start once again though. Did have a nice pass earlier that was dropped by Ryan Wells, but still hasn't made a simple completion yet. And now with the second and what seems to be forever situation, you want to see if they want to get back to the ground or still pass.
About 25 yards to go. Hamler's going to pass it. Has all day long. Coffee, shower, shave. Finally gets going. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Makes a juke. And It's going to be a 3rd and short play after 2nd and 25. Nice play by the offensive line, and then Jalen Hamler finishes it off.
And this one makes him a dual threat right here. Good coverage by Torrance. They've been covering well so far throughout the game, but they got to contain Jalen Hamler.
A penalty?
It seems like
yeah, there's a flag right at the 40-yard line.
Holding, black.
So if it's from the spot of the foul, the 40-yard line, it's going to go back to the 50.
Now you're looking at 2nd and 30s.
Yeah. The 20-yard line is where they need to go. They almost had it. But not only does that negate a 23-yard run, but also the 3rd and short.
Yeah, definitely, and penalties are drive killers right now. The way how this Torrance defense has been playing on the pass coverage.
Delayed handoff to Wilmore. Wilmore bounces out, goes around the right side, and is pushed out of bounds on a nice defensive play by Nathan Gottlieb.
It looked like it could have been a disastrous play from the start. It seemed to be right here where Jalen Hamler, he takes a snap, but he bobbles it. Could have been very disastrous, but he was able to recover it, handing off to Jordan Wilmore, but it was definitely not in sync since the drop in the snap delayed the handoff as well. But now it's a 3rd and long situation.
And Wilmore gets 4 yards out of it. Hamler throws down the sideline, open again, but the ball is tipped away, and the pass was short. Gottlieb doing a great job batting the ball away from Stanley Livingston.
I tell you what a gain some ground from Nathan Gottlieb. Jalen Hamler had his receiver open. Gottlieb was beat, was able to reach out and tip that ball. Look at that. He had him beat. Yep. Maybe Hamler could have go ahead and put a little bit more to lead his receiver, but still what a great recovery right there. Big stop, 4th down.
And Perez comes on to punt. Alex is kicking this one out of bounds.
Looks like that was tipped.
Sure sounded like.
Yeah.
There were 2 hits on it.
Had a weird sound to it. The ball had a real weird rotation to it as well.
When it went off of his foot, it looked like it almost went off of his ankle area, up above the foot. But what do I know?
You see Coach Clark, a very passionate coach right there on the sideline, wanting to keep his team composed, especially talking to Jalen Hamler right now, who's not the start you want with your quarterback in this kind of game, especially against a team that 1-3, season's not going the way they want. But if with this kind of game and with this kind of team, if they see any signs of light, better believe that they are willing to go ahead and take it and run away with it. And you know, so far it's been bouncing towards Torrance way. They got to go ahead and go forward though on offense. Can't start the drive behind.
From the 33-yard line, Gottlieb is going to throw it long, and this one is too far over the head of John Chambers. So they took a shot downfield. That was a nice pass. Beautiful pass, but just a little bit too far out of the reach. And that's, you think that could be because they don't do a lot of throwing?
Yeah, definitely. We're talking about an offense where we see about 80% run, 85%, 90% run, to be honest.
90.
I would say around over 90. We see single-digit passing in the game, and it definitely does take a toll. It's the passing game. It'll take all season for the passing game to get in sync.
This is up the middle on the misdirection. You saw Terrence Reyes running around, but with the ball was Ethan Myers, and Ethan gets 3 yards on the play. So from the 36-yard line, it'll be 3rd and 7.
Look how low they're taking the snaps.
That's your typical double wing snap formation. I mean, you gotta get way down there. You're almost in the fertilizer.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, for the Tartars, this is their first time they're not in a 3rd and 15, 20 situation. It's 3rd and 7. Let's see what they can do here.
Back to pass, Gottlieb, and he gets squashed man, a runaway truck.
That's
Naki Fahina.
That is football right there. Look at that hit that was just delivered. See dropping back. He sees someone, but
Then he doesn't see anything. There's Fahina right there. And he's a junior. So Gottlieb had to check to see if his head was still on. And the punt goes down the sideline, and that's going to be out of bounds. Should be out of bounds around the 30-yard line.
and with Gottlieb making that play on the defensive side with that recovery tip pass, and him being the leader on the offensive side, someone that you don't want to see taking those kind of hits because he's very valuable for the Tartars. And now with this Lawndale offense coming back out on the field, you think that they'll probably go ahead and show more Jordan Wilmore due to the fact that a shaky start on the passing game. I expect to go ahead and see that right now, and I will not be surprised if we start seeing a lot more Jordan Wilmore this drive.
2:39 left to go in the first.
Go with the pass.
Hamler coming towards this side, and it's caught by Jonathan Blackman. Blackman going into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale.
Boy, was I wrong. I said Jordan Wilmore. I think I meant to say Jalen Hamler right there.
Yeah, you did.
There you go. Well, you know
that
what?
That was still a little short. Blackman had to stop to come back and slow down a little bit.
That's a great confidence from Coach Clark to still show his confidence in his quarterback, which you must have for him to go ahead and lead this offense. Let's go back right here as we see great drop back. Look, he looks very comfortable. No happy feet from Jalen Hamlin. Makes a nice touch pass. Blackman did have to stop back a little bit, but he was able to go ahead and shoot for the end zone. Was still able to go ahead and catch on stride, and Blackman with that speed separates.
He pulled away from Suarez. Snap back, ball down, kick is high, true, and through. 2:28 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Cardinals on a blitz from Hamler to Blackman.
It's one of those things where this offense is capable of big plays at any time of the game. I thought that Hamler was off to a shaky start, so we'll start seeing Jordan Wilmore a lot more. Coach Clark said, nope, we're going to get this quarterback in this passing game going on just so they can go ahead, and Torrance is going to have to start respecting the passing game. And once you start backing up that defensive side on the passing game, it opens up that running game a lot more. And that's what makes this team very dangerous, and that's why they've been very successful all year.
You go ahead and get your paper there. It just kind of went away, didn't it?
It sure did. Look, wind's picking up here, and let's see if this go ahead and affect the kicking game. As we notice, when they're kicking on this side of the field, it's not really reaching the end zone from what we're used to seeing on different Fridays.
So Perez will be kicking into the wind. It's blowing onshore. And not being very nice. Is that now coming from behind us? And Perez, though, kicks it high and deep, almost to the 10-yard line, where it's picked up by Myers. Myers gets met and dropped by the Cardinals.
Looked like he lost his footing there. He seemed to gain some ground. But yes, Perez, we're used to seeing him kicking it a little bit past the end zone from here, but with this one picking up from the shore side.
Yeah, the beach isn't that far away from here.
Definitely not. You sure do feel that weather kicking in.
So from the 22-yard line, with 2:22 left in the quarter, Torrance starts off with a pass, and that one just took a little bit too much time to develop on the lost, maybe about a yard. But Ethan Myers had to turn around and then turn back around with a nice tackle by Joseph Edwards.
Is that play was, it was a passing play, but it was more so still equivalent to a run behind the line of scrimmage. And with the wing T offense like this one, it's no different than what you see on a run play here.
I think that was Suarez who stopped in motion and went the other way against the grain and got some yardage. So got the yard back that was lost, and then another 4 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Can't have a 3 and out following up a big play from Lawndale. This is where games can start getting a little out of hand when you follow up a big touchdown with a 3 and out. Oh boy.
And maybe some movement on the line.
Five-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Once again,
Okay.
in these 3rd and long situations, drive killers right here. We saw it happen earlier in the game where big penalties cost them these drives. They were in a nice manageable, 3rd and 7 situation. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 12 where, you know, these type of situations favors the defensive side.
Hambler passes it to Suarez, and Suarez is met and dropped by a host of Cardinals. First one there was Joseph Edwards.
It's one of the downfalls of this kind of offense that you run. There's not that many plays designed to go downfield. A lot of these plays are designed to go behind the line of scrimmage, plays barely further than 5 yards down the field on passing plays as well. Once they got that false start, that pretty much killed their drive.
So another punch, and Wilmore picks it up at about the 37-yard line, comes down the sideline. Wilmore has some blockers, now cuts back, and Wilmore is going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale.
No seconds on the clock, Jordan Wilmore. They continue to go ahead and kick on his side. There's 2 different returners there, and you still kick it to one of the best running backs in the nation.
You ain't kidding. 67 yards on the punt return.
Jordan Wilmore, Jr., crazy to think that this guy has 1 more year in high school. Let's take a look. It's a line drive kick. Broken tackle. It's hard to take this guy down.
And he was tight roping along the sideline, too, after getting hit a couple of times.
Exactly, and a beautiful cut back in the middle of the field. And with that stride, he's able to go ahead and dust any type of opponent that's right behind him. Now it's a 2-score game. Another big play from the Cardinals. Torrance now will start the 2nd quarter down 14-0 following the extra point.
Nice high and through by Perez. So 2nd quarter just about ready to start. 14-0 in favor of Lawndale. But it wasn't easy. Although Wilmore makes it look easy.
Every time I see this guy, every game I've watched him so far this year, he has about 3, 4, 5 big plays for touchdowns. So this is pretty much another typical Friday for Jordan Wilmore. And as for the Torrance Tartars, you know, you got to capitalize here. You cannot follow it up with another 3 and out, which they have yet to get a first down so far this game. And here we are entering the 2nd quarter. And the thing about it is that what you said earlier, Lou, you know, it was not easy for the Cardinals. You know, they have yet to really put an efficient drive there. You know, we had a great pass to from Jalen Hamler to Justin Blackman, and of course that punt return. So their offense really has yet to truly get going and have those long drives that they're used to seeing.
Let's see how far this one gets launched by Perez. That backs up Suarez into the end zone, and there you have it.
Yep, that wind is to his back now. Able to get into the end zone. And now they're going to have to start off on the 20-yard line. But Torrance right now definitely in trouble. Have yet to get a first down. And Cardinals right now, they're definitely riding high, and they're looking to start getting into a groove right now.
And you know, with the 2 drops by the Cardinals, Ryan Wells, I mean, the score could be 28-0.
That is true. That is definitely true.
So out of the wing, straight handoff going over the right side, and being planted is Ethan Myers after about a 4-yard gain.
Ethan Myers right now, to me, he seems to be their best guy with the ball. As you see, he takes it, runs down the field, looks like more of the up the field kind of back for Torrance, and that's what they got to do. They need to go up the field. I know this offense is designed to go ahead and make a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage, but with Lawndale and that front seven of theirs, they need to start going up the field and getting these first downs. They're in a great situation right now. It's 2nd and 6. Oh, boy.
Neutral zone infraction, black,
Oh, there we
5
go.
yards, repeat 2nd down.
They're trying to get in too tight.
A little bit too tight, and for the first time now, a penalty that benefits Torrance. And now they're in a position where they can go ahead and get their first down, their first down of the game.
So it'll be 2nd and a yard at the 29-yard line. Gottlieb trying to get everything straight. Everybody's just right up there. And now it was a draw, and that's Colvin who carries it across the first down marker to about the 35-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tartars. Like you say, their first one of the night.
Good call by Coach Hall. It seems like you know, he knows that the best way to go after the Cardinals is by going forward, which they did. But you know, like, this offense is designed to make plays behind the line of scrimmage, which this Cardinals defense has been able to attack.
So that was a busted play, and paying for it was Gottlieb because he was just buried by Keon Pinkston. And Pinkston, there you see him.
What a good teammate there.
So a loss on the play of, we're going to call it 2. So back to the 33-yard line where it's 2nd and 12. And trying to get out of the grasp of a Cardinal defender is Suarez.
Lawndale did a pretty good job plugging up the holes there. Suarez forcing himself to bounce outside, but that defense is really fast and physical. They're able to swarm around the ball. Now the Torrance, they're once again in another 3rd and long situation, but I guess, you know, this drive was already a plus for them, getting that first down of the game. So slowly but surely, I guess.
Progress. Man in motion. And again, a busted play. Gottlieb had to hang on to it. As the running back, was that Duhan? The boy, he ran over his quarterback, it seemed like, and it's a loss on the play back to the, well, close to the 30-yard line. So a loss of about 4 yards on the play. Mingen with another short punt, and this one takes a Cardinal bounce. Everyone stays away from it, and it's down in a pretty good field position for Lawndale again at about the 44-yard line, we're going to call it. Timeout on the field, 8:54 left to go in the 2nd quarter. So there he is out there again, Nathan Gottlieb. After he just got buried, he can get a breath on defense for a little bit.
Playing both sides of the ball does take a toll on your body throughout the game. And I don't know, personally, to me, I think that punt, even though it was a short punt, benefited Torrance because it was not in Jordan Wilmore's hands.
That's true. Hamler is bookended, give it to Wilmore. Wilmore comes around this side, is wrapped up in a nice tackle. And just a 2-yard gain. That was Duhan on the tackle, I believe.
Great wraparound tackle by Duhan. It's rare to bring this guy down with just one guy. And he was able to go ahead and wrap around, take him to the ground. Only 2 yards there, but a great tackle by Jerome Duhan. His defense is going to have to definitely step up. And the Cardinals offense, still have yet to put up really an efficient drive after just connecting with that one play with Blackman. Torrance defense has been playing well, actually, throughout this game.
Blackman is split to the near side, and Hamler's looking for him. Throws a dart that wasn't close. Somebody either read the pattern wrong or ran it wrong.
Probably
so now we got a penalty. Something's going on out there. We're going to go backwards.
Is there a college scout in the stands? Because it looks like Jalen Hamler was definitely showing off that how strong the arm could be.
No flag on the play. Well, he's already committed to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, but you never know. There could be someone else in the house saying, why don't you come over here?
That is true. You know,
it ain't over till it's over, as the old philosopher said.
It definitely does. And when you're being so young, and when you commit to a school like that, if you see a bigger opportunity in front of you, you might start having your mind change, you know?
Hamler is on the quarterback keeper on the bootleg and showing off his running skills. Gets close to midfield. So it's going to be about 4th down and 4 yards to go after a 5-yard gain or 3-yard gain.
Seemed to really...
Don't call it a 5-yard gain, excuse me.
Seemed to really sort of taken away that passing game. They have had opportunities on the deep ball. Seeing that Torrance was able to go ahead and cover it now. And we saw several deep balls thrown by Hamler. Only one was connected, though, and there could have been at least a nice 2 or 3 that could have been connected for touchdowns as well. But once again, another good stop by Torrance defense, and they have to go ahead and punt for Lawndale.
Perez with a beautiful punt, and that pins back Myers back around the goal line. So anything is positive yardage. He gets up to about the 21-yard line, so a good 20-yard return by Ethan Myers.
Ethan Myers, in my opinion, should be the go-to guy. He showed me the most promise with the ball in his hands, and probably by halftime, Coach Hollis should probably make some type of adjustments that allows more plays to be, on in Ethan Myers' hands, so he can go ahead and try to move this offense down the field against this great defense of the Cardinals.
Gottlieb deep under center. Man in motion is Duhan. Pitch back, though, goes to the man in the backfield. That was Suarez. No, that was Myers. And the field's a bit chewed up out there. I'm sure that the soccer team, at least where the dead spots are, that's usually where soccer is being played.
That's definitely one of the cons of still playing on a grass field is that, and once this field gets a little beat up, it takes a minute for it to go ahead and recover, especially when the maintenance crew don't really come around as often.
So 5 yards on the loss. It'll be 2nd down and 15. Even the center even gets way down there. A pass, swings it back and slip and the fall again. Duhan slipped and fell.
See, the little success that they had on the last drive was them going forward, and the first 2 plays that you see on this drive is once again going backwards, as you see here. Pretty much a swing pass behind the line of scrimmage, and the way how this defense has been swarming to the ball.
Duhan really had nowhere to go anyway.
Exactly. So I've not been a fan of these behind the line of scrimmage, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, because it has not worked so far, and the only flash that you've seen of the offense going forward is with them running the ball like this. There you go. Might not have been, the big play right here. It's 4th down. The drive is over, but it's one of the only plays that you see them moving forward is when they attack the line of scrimmage, not going behind.
That was a 6-yard gain by Myers, but it's still 4th and 14. Mingen, high snap, not really a rush, and another line drive.
Good bounce for Torrance.
Stops right on the 40-yard line.
Looks like they're approaching this kind of the punt with no longer trying to put it in this guy's hand, Jordan Wilmore.
Well, yeah, that only took about 3 punts to figure that out. Had a touchdown.
Once they scored a touchdown, okay, all right, let's go ahead and start game planning to not kick it towards this guy anymore.
Split to the near side is Anthony Williams, number 4. Very personable kid with a Cheshire Cat grin. Anthony Williams the third, he wanted me to say, and dropped one. You'll probably hear that from Anthony Williams, number 2.
There you go. Pass that should have been caught, but sailed a little high. And it's a short pass. That's the thing. It's a short pass. It looked like it was actually a little out of reach. So, you know, Hamler has still been a little shaky. I think just only 1 completion so far this game. And
it was for a loss.
You know, it's a pass that should have been lower. And it's a short pass.
No, that was the touchdown. Wilmore breaks 2 tackles,
there he goes.
Comes down the sideline. Let's watch him outrun everybody. He just outran Adam Mendoza and into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. 60 yards.
Another big play by this guy, Jordan Wilmore. His breakaway speed, Adam Mendoza, he had... People would say it's poor angle tackling. I just say that's just Jordan Wilmore's breakaway speed. He has to. At that point, Adam Mendoza, he should have been aiming to run straight to the 10 or 5-yard line if he was able to go ahead and catch up to Wilmore. Because look at this breakaway speed. Nice shedding the tackle. You're not going to tackle him with that arms.
Duhan got stiff-armed. And look at that. The track star outran old Adam Mendoza like he was standing still. And Perez right down the middle. Boy, they're firing on all cylinders tonight.
They sure
21-0.
They sure are. All big plays, too. All plays what? You're the stat guy, Lou. All plays have been over 50 yards, all touchdowns?
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. Over 50 yards, actually. Blackman, Hamler to Blackman was 70 yards. 67-yard punt return by Wilmore. And now his second scoring run is 60 yards.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's very, very deflating for Torrance because they've been actually doing a good job overall on the defensive side, but it's just the big plays. You know, that's just something that you cannot give up as well. Overall, they have been playing, you know, really good on the defensive side. But
that and the penalties.
And of course, the penalties is just what's been killing their offense this whole entire game. Now they're definitely in a big hole now. They got to go forward, though, on offense. You got to cut off the behind the line of scrimmage, back 5-yard plays.
Kickoff is returnable by Suarez. Gets up the near sideline, cuts back in, still on his feet. Nice return by Eric Suarez. Got it at about the 2-yard line and returns it up to about the 32.
It seems to be the only life right now for Torrance has just been their return game. We saw earlier they took it out to around the 35-yard line, and Suarez right here, good vision, was able to cut up on the field.
A couple of missed tackles too.
Exactly, and it brings them out to a really good field position. So Torrance should be able to capitalize off here, but it's just depending on what they do now. They got to go for it. They got to attack Lawndale, though.
Colvin, who has the only first down for the Tartars.
Run up field. Only a 2-yard game, but how often have we seen a 2nd and 8 for Torrance? You know, we're used to seeing a 2nd and 13, 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15. So just run up field.
You know, also, they need to not make a penalty on the drives. I mean, they have been pretty penalty free, but they haven't been able to find a way to crack through this defense. And now the pitch goes to John Chambers, and Chambers with a nice run around the end.
Good win around, and he was able to cut up the field. That's pretty much been their only sign right here. Once he got the ball, look at that nice cut up the middle. setting up for a 3rd and short.
Terrence Simon with a nice tackle. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
Big play right here for Torrance. Keep attacking, keep attacking.
So a rugby scrum broke out on the football field. And wouldn't you know it, on the bottom of the pile was Naki Fahina, but it's a 1st down.
Wouldn't you know? They get the 1st down. That's power football right there. And that's just what's pretty much what's been working for Torrance. Continue to attack the line of scrimmage and attack going forward. I know I sound repetitive, but that's what we're seeing so far from the only signs of little life that we see from Torrance.
Hand off to Colvin, and he dives forward for about a yard. Naki Fahina with the tackle.
Right now, they might have 2 opponents to face, which is time, because these are the kind of offenses that will drain the clock out. They did have a 10-minute drive, I believe.
Opening up against their last opponent.
Culver City, I believe.
Was El Segundo.
El Segundo, a 10-minute drive, but time could be there.
Swing pass to Myers, and he gets thrown out of bounds by the defense. Led by Terrence Simon. Yeah, that wind's starting to kick up its heels.
It sure has. Now, at this point now, if they're not looking to score here, it's going to see how much time they're going to leave on the clock for this Cardinal offense, especially giving the ball back from Jordan Wilmore, who's been scoring at will. You know, you can't afford to leave over a minute, bringing him back out on the field.
Suarez in motion. Fake on one side. Now the timing pass, and just missing the ball is Jerome Duhon. But on the play, Gottlieb was flattened. Was it Joe Holani, I believe it was. Number 32. Well, there's another number we need to get.
Threw off his back foot right here, was not really able to set his feet down, and just overthrew Duhon. That was a great design play. Had a 1st down there, but you know, when your quarterback's not, when his feet is not set, won't be able to make that play.
That punt was contested by Lawndale, and this one goes out of bounds, and they may have their worst field position of the night inside the 25-yard line. Let's see where they will place the ball.
They got to avoid the big plays here, because that's what's been helping this Cardinal offense scoring. That's how they scored all their drives. When Torrance have taken away all their big plays, they've been stopping their offense, leaving them to a couple 3-and-outs. With just over a minute left, too. You can't give a big play here.
Well, because of last week's score, they scored 21 points in the 4th quarter against San Pedro there. And Wilmore said he had 200 yards, but they were all tough yards. Hamler has all day and finally throws this one, but it was hit by Brian Downey, who's a starting linebacker.
Hamler, once again, he was hit on that one, but looks like they're aiming for the big plays. They're still looking to aim for the big plays. There's no receiver really in sight. That was 10 to 15 yards of Jordan Hamler. Looked like they're sending everybody on a 4 vert.
Yeah, nobody underneath, yeah.
Exactly, and
these guys can cover.
They can, and with the quarterback that has been pretty much struggling, you know, yeah, he has that big touchdown pass, but I believe that's his only completion here. You sort of want to probably start going underneath and on the short passes.
Hamler going long again.
Oh, boy.
But
Here
they're
we
going to
go.
call that a fumble.
Oh.
Well, they said it was a live ball, that's for sure. But saving the bacon.
Just call a timeout if you're Torrance right here.
Number 7.
Call
72, I'm sorry.
You got to call a timeout. This is. Let's see if they actually did. Nope, the clock is still running.
Well, number 63 got his jersey ripped. You don't see that too much anymore. Tony DaCosta.
Looks like Cardinals is just going to go ahead and run this into halftime. In my opinion, I think that they should.
So the loss goes back to the 13-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and very long. And Wilmore gets wrangled down by Nathan Gottlieb. Probably got back close to the 20. And that's going to do it. There goes the siren. And Wilmore gains 7 more yards.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity for Torrance there after that fumble. Could have called a timeout, leaving them in a 3rd and long situation. I don't think they've called a timeout the whole entire first half. You had a couple timeouts to spare, I believe, and you call a timeout there. They were definitely already waving the white flag for that drive on the Cardinals side for it to be 3rd and forever for them. And, you know, you would tackle them there. They're going to have to punt the ball deep into their territory. And who knows, you could have had a decent return because their return has shown a little life on the kickoff return. Who knows, their punt return could have done the same thing as well. Something where, you know, you're down 21. You don't want to give up the half like that.
There's some of the Cardinal faithful here. She knows that the guys are doing great tonight. Up 21-0. And let's see, does Sebastian Spencer have anything to say at all today? I guess not. So we're going to come back with the 3rd quarter and some stats right after this. Just before the kickoff for the 3rd quarter, it's 21-0 in favor of Lawndale over Torrance. Let's go down to Sebastian. Want to do it again? About ready to kick it off. Before. Back here at Lawndale High School, and thanks for joining us on Friday Night Football on City TV. 21-0 in favor of Lawndale over Torrance, and Lawndale is just overwhelming the Tartars, who have also shot themselves in the foot with a few penalties, but it really is the defense of the Cardinals that have answered the question, can they stop the double wing?
It sure hasn't. This defense is one of their stronger units of this team, and I mean, no surprise here. It's also the Jordan Wilmore show is what we're seeing right now. 2 big touchdown runs from him. Jalen Hamler did connect with Blackman on a big touchdown run, but Jalen Hamler has been having a very shaky game. I think that was his only completion so far. But here is Torrance about to kick off, and let's see if they're going to kick it to once again, number 1, which they don't, and a good decision by them.
And that goes to Blackman at the 1-yard line. Cuts back to the near sideline, and a penalty flag flies, and out of bounds goes Blackman, and a nice tackle by Dylan Perez.
Looks like that's going to be coming back for them. Good return by Blackman, too. We showed his speed, and we saw on that touchdown of his speed.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking while I was calling the play.
Holding. Black. First down.
So this is going to be the worst field position that Lawndale has had, but Blackman, as he was running down the sideline, reminded me of Wilmore in that kick, that track kick towards the tape.
Exactly, that breakaway speed, and you can see where he was, not too far where the defender was right behind him, but just once again broke away, and that's why this offense is one of the most explosive offense that we've seen so far, because of the players like Wilmore and Blackman that's capable of just leaving defenders behind.
1st and 10 from the 20. Hamler gets hit as he throws, and that's why it's short. So some penetration by the Tartars. Looked like Julian Masil came in there and got Hamler's arm.
It's almost fascinating. Torrance, they've been doing a really, really good job on pass defense outside of the Blackman touchdown there. They've been getting to Hamler. That's not the first time that he's been hit while he's throwing the ball. But, at some point now, you got to wonder, just get the ball to Wilmore. That's where the offense has been pretty much moving at this point. The passing game has not been working.
Here comes the blitz. Look out. And a couple of blitzers outran or overran Wilmore, who maybe got a yard.
Good play call and anticipation from Torrance and Coach Hollis as well, sending in that blitz. Most likely a running situation since the passing game continues to just not work for Jalen Hamler and the Cardinals.
Well, maybe the Tartar coaching staff and Rock Hollis said, look, they're going to throw it long every time they pass it, so just pin your ears back and go after that guy. Another blitz, picked up this time, and here comes the ball, overthrown, just barely overthrown to Anthony Williams III.
You have those games. Sometimes you just have those games no matter what you do. You can have the perfect situation right in front of you, and it just does not execute. Jalen Hamler, he has him beat. The receiver had him beat right here. Just too much of that arm power right there by Jalen Hamler. Missing him. That was another big touchdown right there that he missed, and it's just not working for him today. But
it's like a half a dozen of those, right?
Exactly. It's not going to look good on the stat sheet, when he sees it in the morning. But at this point, you're up 21. Just, at some point they're going to drain the clock. We're probably going to see a couple more runs from, Jordan Wilmore here. But on Torrance's side, once again, another 3 and out. They've had several of those against this Cardinals offense.
Somebody lined up offside.
Offsides. Black. 5 yards. Repeat 4th down.
Well, that's a lack of focus.
I believe that was a false start, not an offsides, or maybe the offensive on the offensive side he lined up offsides. But that puts Torrance in a good position for this punt right here. I would like to see what Ethan Myers can do if he gets the ball in space.
Yeah, Larry's going to get it now. Takes a bounce, and at the 37-yard line.
What a block.
Myers has a blocker in front of him. Myers into Lawndale territory, and look out, there's a wounded Cardinal on the deck.
Oh boy. Oh boy. What a good football hit, but that's also the scary part about football when those hits are delivered right there. Really good block. Really good block by Suarez, laying the wood down. It was a very clean hit there. It's what you call lifting him off the ground, and he's definitely going to be feeling it in the morning. It's one of those plays where
just trying to see who that is.
It looks like that was Suarez that laid the wood down, but
is it Fred Edwards on the ground?
That was.
Okay, number 12 is one of the fellas we don't have on our list. I saw him line up, and I thought, oh, well, hey, let's see here. Let's see if my little magic. Number 12 is Joshua Barberin. a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, you do see a lot of the younger classmen out here on special teams. I mean, and that's unfortunate because this is one of the rare few times that they're out there on the field, you know, looking to make a play. He just does not see Suarez coming in, lowering his shoulder right into his chest. It was a clean hit, you know, no doubt about it. You see a lot of these kind of hits in, immediately the refs will throw a flag nowadays, thinking, you know, that the hit was illegal, dirty. It was a clean hit, you know, not behind his back, right into his chest. You know, that's just one of those things where a younger classman, one of the rare few times that he's out there on the field thinking that he's going to be able to make that play, just oblivious to his surroundings. And, you know, Suarez comes in there, laying down a really good hit, and now at this point, he's still down on the ground. You know, you just got to hope that he's okay.
Yeah, they're probably going to go through some of that concussion protocol. You can see the Lawndale bench there, very concerned. Everybody's on a knee.
Definitely, that's you know, that's their brother out there, and we see here. Go back to Jalen Hamler. You know, he had
Anthony Williams III.
Just an off day from Hamler in general. He's had.
And why don't we take a timeout? So this could be a while. As again, the player down is Joshua Barberin, 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. And why don't we take this timeout as they treat young Mr. Barberin. Score is 21-0. Well, maybe Sebastian has an update here. He's coming back off the field towards our camera. So let's wait to see what Sebastian has to say. Do we have audio down to Sebastian now? Okay. Then why don't we take a time out here on City TV Sports, and we will be back when play resumes.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
And back here at Lawndale High School, and we've had a long time out, as the injured Cardinal is Joshua Barberin, 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. He's being loaded up into the ambulance right now. And for more details on that, let's go down to the field to Sebastian.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. As you see, number 12, Josh Barberin there being carted off the field. He actually was not moving at the beginning, and a lot of those teammates were over there talking to him, and you saw an exchange between Coach Scott and Coach Hollis, and Coach Hollis just told Coach Travis, he said, "Coach, I feel really bad," and Coach Travis just responded to him. He said, "Hey, Coach, this is football. I have tremendous respect for you. I know that was not a legal hit." So, but Coach Hollis feels really bad about the hit, guys. And once the paramedics arrived, they were checking him out. They took off his helmet, took off his jersey and everything just to make sure everything was all right so they can get him safely onto the cart. But as for right now, they are taking him out, as you guys clearly saw. His brother was actually over there, Jared Barberin. I think he is a JV player, but he was actually really upset and emotional about his brother being carted off the field. So very unfortunate for us to see here, and hopefully he'll recover really fast. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. And here is the hit, and there you see right there, Joshua getting hit. It's was a legal hit by Suarez. Eric Suarez, and you know that he didn't intend to hurt him or headhunt. And as we're just about ready to get things underway again. So our thoughts and good wishes go out to Joshua Barbarin and his family. And we're going to do why don't we do this, not now, Eric, but let's do it in between quarters. Got a little surprise for you as the Tartars go in motion. Ball handed off up the middle. Is that Kyle Sell getting his first carry? Number 45. He's got the cleanest uniform out there.
It was a loss, a big loss for the Cardinals there, on an emotional standpoint. But it was a really good return by Ethan Meyer, and with such a long delay, it's going to stall up everybody. The players, they got to go ahead and warm up. And with that return from Ethan Meyer on the Cardinals side of the 50-yard line, that injury could have also stalled Torrance as well.
Pass over the middle, man open, and was the catch made? It certainly was. Catch made by John Chambers. So Gottlieb taking advantage of that, and inside the 20-yard line to about the 15.
Good play action pass right there. What a nice touch throw right there, and what we saw from John Chambers growing up, grabbing the ball. Double coverage as well.
Ball is burrowed down inside the 10-yard line, or close to the 10-yard line. As it's 1st and 10 from the 15, I think.
Well, I was concerned if Torrance were to go ahead and have to warm up a little bit, but that big play right there might have definitely given them their energy. And there goes Ethan Meyer.
And Myers gets maybe to the 10-yard line. As there you see the ambulance with Joshua Barbarin in it going by in the background.
Scary stuff about this game, especially for a sophomore as well. It's one of those type of things where he's a young guy, a younger classman, and parents, do they want to go ahead and go through that experience of, seeing their kid getting carried off in an ambulance again?
Well, there's been a big discussion about that ever since last night's game between the Green Bay Packers and, oh my goodness, talk about huge hits. Kean Pinkston making his presence known. Boy, he's just blasted right up the middle.
Probably a botched play right there. You see, was looking for the running back, John Chambers, and he seemed to go another way. He just got swallowed up right there.
Loss of the play, 2 yards on the play. So back to the 13-yard line, so a loss of 3, excuse me. So they're going to try a field goal. Dylan Perez. High snap. Perez has to fall on it.
Oh, boy.
And unfortunately for the Tartars, and you see Gottlieb there saying, yeah, that thing was over my head. And the ball is down right there, so they turn it over on the botched field goal attempt.
It's the fundamentals right here, and you can see where the snap is way too high. You're looking to try to get some points off of this drive, and in my opinion, they should have gotten at least 7 points here. But I mean, you could just try to take what you can get at this point, put some points on the board, and you can't make this stuff up. High snap here, and that's leaving them still with the goose egg on the board here, and with this offense and Jordan Wilmore in the backfield, who's broken away a couple of big touchdowns. We'll see what they do here.
They hand the ball off this time, and Wilmore gets stacked up. Stop the presses.
Yep. He's gonna have to go ahead and get himself warmed up as well, and also the Cardinals offensive side, think about it, that they have to sit through that whole, you know, that whole side when the Torrance offense on the field, so the Cardinals offense was on the sideline, plus the injury as well that took so long. So they need to go ahead and warm up as well.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard gain. And Wilmore again, he's free inside the secondary. Gottlieb finally gets him and takes about 4 more helpers to finally get him down. But Wilmore runs for the 1st down and then some.
Strong run by Jordan Wilmore here, able to hit the hole. Nice cut. You're not going to be able to take him down by that whiff tackle. Good stiff arm. Nathan Gottlieb is able to hold on as best as he can, as letting his teammates swarm around and bringing him down. And what is this, the first run that we see Jordan Wilmore not taking it 50 yards?
No, the second one. But he went 15. So after the 15-yard gain, it's 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Hamler out of the power I. No flag on that one, and I kind of like that. And Wilmore
there you go.
Puts it into gear, and Wilmore just barely missing another touchdown. Jerome Duhan with a touchdown saving tackle.
Big touchdown saving tackle here. And this is what I was expecting a little bit more from the Cardinals side of the ball on the offensive side. It hasn't been working on the passing game, and you know, at this point in the game, the delay of the injury, they need to get their legs going again. Why not, you know, give it to Jordan Wilmore, who's also put up quite a few big plays here in this game.
That was a 23-yard gain. So Terrence Simon is the fullback, but back to pass on the play action to Hamler. Has a man open and just a little bit too far ahead of the intended receiver, Stanley Livingston. Maybe a little bit more air underneath that one, but we got a whole lot of misses there. He is now 1 out of 11.
The thing about it is that
that's stunning.
These are not, you know, bad plays at all. These receivers, they're open. They have the defender beat. It's just one of those games for him, and you know, it's definitely a game that he wants to definitely forget. But I think that Cardinals should just keep giving this ball to Jordan Wilmore.
This is what they do, going over a left tackle, and Wilmore is stopped at about the 36-yard line. So a gain of 4.
I think he slipped right there. This field condition, yep. We saw one of his best cuts that he's able to do. Too bad looked like the field is not able to, is the only way that can stop Jordan Wilmore at this point, the way he's been running the ball this drive.
And that's in that same neck of the woods where Torrance was having trouble standing up. It's like running on ice skates.
That is true, and with the ocean next to us, you could feel the wetness in the air. That's going to go ahead and keep the ground moist as well.
Williams is in motion. Hamler hands the ball off and looking for a good block and gets it. And Wilmore powers his way down to the 20-yard line. So he's not just a track star. He can really bull his way through the line.
Bullying this Torrance defense. This is a classic, you know, ground and pound kind of drive that's going to wear and tear this defense. This defense, as well, has been sitting on the sideline along with that injury and the delay. They got to get their legs going, but, you know, not a way to go ahead and warm up when you have Jordan Wilmore coming at you full speed. And right now, Lawndale looking to go ahead and make this a 4-score game. They need to definitely make a stop here before this gets definitely out of hand.
Julian Maciel with the tackle. And movement on the line.
False start. Black. 5 yards. Repeat, 1st down.
So it'll be 1st down and 15.
Well, that'll be one way to help this Torrance defense right now. They could use a couple more penalties. Look, wow. He hits the hole really, really hard. It's
Sure does.
a 7-yard run, you know, probably, yeah, just about a 7-yard run. And, I mean, you can just see how hard he just attacks the hole. Dragging the defender for about a couple yards, and he needed some assistance to go ahead and help bring Jordan Wilmore down.
Yeah, Suarez and the fullback for Suarez, Kyle Sell, on a 3-yard gain. All that for 3 yards, or actually 8 yards. And again, that's close to a first down.
He's a man amongst boys right here. I got to see at one point he got attacked and just carried the whole entire defense fighting for that first down. Right here, he got attacked about 2 yards into the run and was able to fight for an extra 6 to 7 yards, getting the first down.
And now it's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
What'd you do right here, Lou? Give it to him again?
Just give it to them until they figure it out. They being the Tartar defense and stepping into the hole and grinding his way to the end zone and right on the goal line. It's going to be 2nd and goal. So Jordan Wilmore, there you see him. New helmets this year for the Cardinals. At the 1-yard line. 7 yards on the gain.
I would be surprised if they do anything else right here at this point. You're at the 1-yard line. Jordan Wilmore has been taking you downfield the whole entire drive.
In the power eye,
There he
Wilmore
goes. There he
over
goes.
left guard and into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. 27-0, and the 3rd touchdown for Wilmore tonight. 2nd one on the ground, and he had a 67-yard punt return. Albert Cobbin going to come in to take the snap, to be the holder. There you see the replay on the touchdown. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to be good.
I was just about to say, I think I got spoiled with too many of these big 50-plus yard touchdown runs from Jordan Wilmore that I should appreciate these kind of drives from him, which it was a phenomenal drive. It was nothing but the Jordan Wilmore show that we saw here. And once again, they're giving up to him. Great dominance on the line of scrimmage from the offensive line, just completely moving the defensive line. A whiff tackle by Suarez there. 1 yard to go.
And Robert Fafita really credited on that one on the offensive line, just moving Torrance south, literally.
Exactly, and at this point now, late in the 3rd quarter, down 28-0. And it's unfortunate too because Torrance is a team that's been competitive throughout the season. This is their first game that they have not shown anything. And at this point now, you got to see what kind of game plan Coach Hollis is going to send out for the Tartars. Will they continue to do their slow ground and pound methodical? I mean, you got to at some point open up the playbook. You know, it's 28-0. You know, I understand that you went back to this run-heavy wing T type of offense, and you know it's not working for you at this point.
So the return on the kickoff goes to the 25-yard lines by Devin Nash. With 2:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Ball is pitched and dropped.
Oh my goodness.
And is picked up by the Cardinals. So Lawndale gets a turnover, and look out, that might be a 15-yard unsportsmanlike call. Nick Paredes.
John Chambers losing focus. Let's see here if he took his eye off the ball. Nope, just completely just drop it.
Well, there are a lot of black shirts wreaking havoc back there, too.
Definitely.
Like they could have taken one of the handoffs. They could have taken the pitch. There you see Nick Paredes. He's the one who came up with the fumble recovery.
I mean, it's at some point, you know, you're a 1-3 team. You try to figure out why you're at 1-3. I mean, you go back to the drawing board and you realize a lot of fundamental mistakes.
Hamler has the man open. It's Williams, caught for the touchdown. Anthony Williams III. One play, 15 yards, and now it's 34-0. And I think the Cardinals have figured out the defense. And actually, there was a touchdown catch. Second one of the night for Hamler. First for Williams.
The Cardinals receivers, they've been beating the defenders the whole night. It was just a matter of Jalen Hamler, you know, getting his feet set right there and making that nice touch pass. He seemed very comfortable making that throw. As we see here, his feet is set. Beautiful lob over. Great execution there. The play, it's been in the whole night. Whoa.
Something happened.
I mean, you know, he jumped the snap there, but a little very excessive there. That's going to
Mano Tui Tupo. Easy for me to
Close
say.
it. Hold on.
Well, Manu was knocked on his hind end there. There you see the long snapper, Sebastian Martinez. Perez waits for the hold to go down by Cobbin and puts it through. So it's 35-0 with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, expect this clock to start running once it's the fourth quarter. Most likely going to let this clock drain because this is now getting definitely out of hand. And Torrance, they continue to make mistake after mistake after mistake, shooting themselves in the foot. They get a good return. Then, you know, their only chance to put up points. High snap, cannot even get the field goal. And obviously a team like the Cardinals, you know, a good team will take advantage of mistakes, which they've been doing the whole entire game. Just a game that the Torrance definitely they're eventually gonna be 1-4, but you know they still had so much confidence coming into this game, and you just hope that they don't, you know, lose a confidence like this.
Perez puts it high in the air, and a fair catch, I believe, was called for by Terrence Reyes. And he makes the catch.
We're going back to the losing confidence. We were talking to Coach Hollis, and he says, you know, they don't feel like they're 1-3. They feel like, you know, they've been competitive, and they obviously before the game started they felt like they could have beaten Lawndale. He's liking their spirit, but you know these are the kind of losses where you're gonna have to look at yourself in the mirror and definitely, you know, see what you're made of at this point. You know, come out and continue to fight like you've been doing every single week. You know, these games will happen. But, I mean, see, they can carry some momentum, you know, hopefully on this drive. Just put some points on the board.
Back to pass is Gottlieb, and middle linebacker comes in. That's Paulo Bailey. And a big sack for Paulo. He looks bigger than 5'9". And that goes all the way back inside the 20-yard line to the 16-yard line. So a 10-yard loss. Well, just doing some numbers during the injury timeout, the Tartars could only get 18 yards rushing against Lawndale in the first half.
Wow. And that's their specialty. You know,
that's what this offense is designed for. Ball is handed off, and look out again. This is Duhan that's ganged up on.
Look at that swarm defense right there. And I mean, large reason why they only had 18 yards in the first half rushing was because of this defense. And that front seven is ferocious. It's Torrance, they play power football, they play run-heavy football, but it's hard to go ahead and do that when the opponent in front of you is just as big and faster than you. No.
Oh, you could hear the plastic rattling around all the way up here. So 25 seconds left to go in the quarter. And another loss. This loss goes all the way back to about the 15. So a little bit of positive gain. Back up to the 18-yard line. And that ends the third quarter. The score is 35-0. And in the first half, we had some really good highlights. Darius and I have been talking about that. And let's see what happened here. In the 2 touchdowns were scored by the Cardinals here in the third quarter. But let's go back to the 3 touchdowns that were scored in the first half. And there you see Hamler to Blackmore.
Look at this breakaway speed right here. Separating from Suarez.
There it goes. Look at the sprinter's run there. The sprinter's leg kick there. That was a 70-yard hookup and a 2-play drive. And that took about 20 seconds to do. And here is Wilmore.
Man.
And this is the punt return. 67 yards on the punt return. And he just broke away from everybody. And then to cap things off, a 60-yard run by Wilmore, his second touchdown of the game.
Look at that stride. Look at that separation.
3 plays, 48 seconds it took. And that was 21-0. And here is the punt by Mingham. And it takes a Tartar bounce. And finally downed by Nathaniel Carrillo. Where it will be 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at about the 31-yard line. And the clock is rolling with a 35-point lead.
It's what they call the mercy rule out here, and they're sending out, you know, their key guys. It's one of those things where now you want to sort of preserve your big time guys. You got Jalen Hamler going back out there along with Terrence Simon, who's also their big linebacker on defense, their leader of their defense, and of course Jordan Wilmore. If they score a touchdown here, this should be their last drive. You're going to be up, what, 42-0 if they score a touchdown on this drive.
Well, a penalty right off the bat by the line judge. And it's against Lawndale.
Well, if anything, this wastes more time.
False start. Black. First down.
4th penalty for 20 yards. Goes back to the 25-yard line. Power I formation. Back to pass is Hamler. Throws it over the middle, and it's caught by Blackmore, who gets his balance and puts on the Jets. Flying into the end zone. Touchdown, Blackmore and the Lawndale Cardinals.
Beautiful separation, and I mean, I think Hamler only has 3 completions on the day, all 3 for touchdowns. Obviously, leaving the game off of a good note because his last pass prior to this was also a touchdown as well. Look at him dropping back. His feet was settled once again. We saw him have happy feet earlier, but connected with the Blackman, and look at that separation right there with that speed and that stride. Once again, check this out. Hamler, nice, being comfortable right there in the pocket. And look at Blackman turning on the Jets. And that's something that was a struggle in the first half, was Hamler really getting his feet settled in. We saw him with, dancing feet, with happy feet the whole entire time, not really settling. He was getting hit sometimes while he was, throwing the ball, but the past couple throws that we've seen him so far, looking very comfortable making that throw. As we see once again, making that play action pass, sitting comfortably. Beautiful execution there on the play action pass. And
nice pirouette, too.
Exactly. Look at that. You think you could beat him in a race, Lou?
He's a pretty runner.
You think you could beat him in a race, Lou?
Absolutely not. Maybe to the dinner table. But I tell you what, that's the third touchdown pass by Jalen Hamler, and the second touchdown by Jonathan Blackman. There you see Ethan Myers getting ready to possibly return the ball, either him or Eric Suarez, as Perez line drives that one through the end zone, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Just over 8 minutes now. We got Lawndale looking to head into becoming 5-0 at this point, and I mean, this team's only getting better. Coach Clark just has these boys ready every single week, not allowing them to get ahead of themselves. Yeah, they're winning for the most part every single. Yeah, most of their wins have been very decisive wins, and he continues to send them out there, having their opponent. Yes, this is the 1-3 Torrance that was coming in, but he was treating them like if they're the 3-1 Torrance. You know, it's great coaching by Coach Clark to have these boys prepared every single week and not allowing them to get ahead of themselves.
Running play by Torrance. You see a good look at that double wing offense.
Look at that. Nice tackle.
Nathaniel Carrillo.
Good tackle there. Able to wrap up.
Stopping them at the line of scrimmage, something that's been happening all game. And Clark is going to continue to run, and I think Torrance, they seem like they are, waving the white flag and just taking their time, allowing the clock to run out too. Don't want to risk any more injuries.
Looks like Myers and Suarez are out of the ball game. Get some fresh legs in there. Boy, do they. That's Jonathan Chambers. John Chambers, and he gets a first down and then some. Where's that been all night long?
John Chambers, he's made a couple mistakes there, and you don't want to leave off on a bad note just like that. So you want to see some of these plays from these guys that struggled the whole entire night and get their confidence up going into next week. Yeah, the game is out of reach, but to not have 0 on the board and try to get a touchdown would be great. But look at this run by John Chambers.
That just shows heart. This team still has the heart to play.
Definitely.
Play action on the misdirection, and closest player to the ball was Makeel Esteen. That's the first time we've had a chance to call his name tonight.
Seems like he's been just covering that whole entire side of the field.
And we're not going to get a whole lot of defensive back or safety calls tonight.
Especially, definitely against a team like Torrance.
Gottlieb is down there somewhere, and a terrific defensive play as Myers is back in.
That was beautiful power football right there. Just overpowering the line of scrimmage. As a former defensive lineman, I appreciate something like this, able to get underneath.
Tuli Peloto with the stop there. Actually, he fought off the block and forced the running back Myers back to the inside.
That's pretty much been the story the whole entire game, though, is that defensive line of theirs, that front seven that's just been dominating the line of scrimmage. Oh!
And there's Tuli Peloto again, also in there.
Padding the stats right there. Getting swallowed up. It's going to be a drive killer. Let's see this right here. Pretty much a free access.
Yikes.
Your guard and center just bypassing.
Jeez. He just like shot out of a cannon. That's Isaiah Puolani. Counting down to 4 minutes left in the game.
Unreal. It's something where they are definitely going to get chewed out by Coach Rock Hollis about that, because you do not allow.
And the kick almost got blocked, and it's going to take a Torrance bounce out at about the 36-yard line, and Pualani is a sophomore.
Wow, it's
6'2", 235. I feel so sorry for his mom and dad who have to buy the groceries.
And he's only going to get bigger for him just to be a sophomore.
That's what they do. They grow.
He's going to continue to grow, and I mean, we're going to see him back next year, as well as Jordan Wilmore. He's going to be coming back next year. This team is they're good this year, and they're looking to go ahead and be good for the next couple more years as well. Playing like this.
Well, they lose a big piece to their big cog to their motor, and that's Hamler. But heck, we haven't even gotten into league yet, so let's leave that for later. So it's 1st and 10, or we don't have to. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, it looks like
ball is handed off to Watson, and Watson.
There you go.
He's a little water bug that races around the right end.
Jonathan Watson, given sort of a Donnell Pumphrey, Darren Sproles type of feel with the 5'6" height, quick feet, able to get around that corner.
Those kind of players, they're
more frustrating to take down because on how fast. I mean, they might be easy
like
to take
that?
down. Yep, look at this.
We've got 2 flags on the play.
Despite the penalties, it was still a good run. And going back to what I was saying about being frustrating about taking these guys down, it's just because of how fast they are and how quick they move with the ball.
Let's go. Holding. Black. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So a holding penalty. See if we can see who's the guilty party. There it is right there, right in front of us. Is that Josh Pittman? I don't think is playing tonight.
Devontre Farmer looked like
Okay.
had too much of a handful of jersey right there, and I mean, for Jonathan Watson, this is the only time of the game he's really going to get in. So he's still passing. Wow.
Hamler looking for somebody open.
Oh,
has
boy.
a man wide open, and that is Stanley Livingston. And Livingston finally gets inside the 10-yard line before he is tackled.
Still attacking. I mean, that's a little, let's say, shoving it in towards Torrance. You gotta take that as a disrespect at some point.
Yeah, they're working on their game. I mean, do you call that a disrespect? I mean, they might over across the side. And a nice defensive play as Williams was the intended receiver. Ethan Myers knocking there. No, that's not Myers. That's Nathaniel Carrillo.
Yeah, Coach Clark there really wanted to go ahead and try to put the dagger in their hearts now. I mean, rushing to the line of scrimmage. They're up 42-0. Just take the knee or something. I don't see the point of this right now. It looks like the refs are going to go ahead and delay this. They're going to let the clock wind out. You might as well.
And that is the end. 42-0. The Cardinals now improve to 5-0. And the Tartars fall to 1-4. So congratulations to the Lawndale Cardinals. And after everybody's been banging heads out on the field, this is my favorite part where they get together and shake hands. Let's see Rock Hollis is right there on the left, shaking hands. And I mean, he's a good guy. I don't know if there's going to be any bad blood there. Didn't seem like it. All those players there, well, heck, it still is the preseason. And, yeah, they'll see these guys again somewhere down the line. As the Ocean League features Lawndale and El Segundo, the Pioneer League with Lusinger in it. So Lusinger and Torrance will play later on this season, that's for sure. I think that's the second to the last game of the season. But the Cardinals didn't have it easy to begin with.
No, they didn't. Had to take a big, big plays from Blackman and also Jordan Wilmore on the punt return to go ahead and really get this game going, because for the most part, Torrance defense, they were stopping them. They were, I don't know how many 3-and-outs they've had. They handed them at least 3 to 4 3-and-outs throughout the game. Hamler was struggling on the passing game for the most part throughout the game until pretty much at the end of the game when the game was out of reach. And I'm gonna give credit to Torrance. I mean,
You have to, because a lot of those kids play on both sides of the ball, and it's not easy to play that double wing formation.
It's not. It's a game plan, and it's a formation where it's going to require a lot of, you got to go 100% every single play, because you're meeting a man in front of you at the line of scrimmage, so you have to go full throttle every single play. Then you got some of those guys that are coming after the play, after the offensive series, going onto the defensive side, and eventually we saw now in the second half on how much this game got out of reach.
And they struck early and often, and from dialing a long distance. So 42-0 is our final score, and just wondering if we're going to have the coach come on with us. And don't see anything right now, so why don't we take a timeout, add up some stats, and see if Jordan Wilmore reached the 200-yard mark again. We'll be back right after this.
Won't be surprised.
Back here at Lawndale High School, 42-0. Lawndale Cardinals over the Torrance Tartars. A terrific football game here at the high school, and hopefully Joshua Barberin will be okay. It's just maybe got his bell rung a little bit to start off the third quarter. But other than that, it was a well done, well played game by the Cardinals.
It sure was. The Torrance defense came out. They were giving their Cardinals offense a lot of fits, actually, and they had to take a couple big plays from, Jordan Wilmore, obviously, definitely the play from Justin Blackman to open up, to start up the what seems to be the ongoing touchdowns for the Cardinals with that the Jonathan Blackman touchdown, excuse me. And, it was a really good victory for the Cardinals, and for Torrance, this has been the team that's been competing throughout the whole entire season, and this is their first time they lost convincingly without not even being in this game pretty much.
No, not at all. And it seemed like the Cardinals really turned it on, stepped it up a notch in the second half, and that's a sign of a really, really good team.
Definitely, with that ground and pound offense, especially with Jordan Wilmore at running back, it's gonna be able to go ahead and carry the game. We saw last week where they were able to go ahead and put up some big points out in the fourth quarter and put the game away as well. So, with this kind of offense that they have with the ground and pound and having Jordan Wilmore at running back, having a running game will take you long ways, especially late in the game.
Oh, absolutely. And the defense doing it again, powering it up. As in the first half, the Tartars only could manage 18 yards on the ground. And maybe not a whole lot more than that. I don't believe that the running game sustained 25 yards in the whole game. So offense and defense, it's not an easy field to run through here for an opponent playing Lawndale.
Definitely, and it was a lot of fundamental mistakes for Torrance. It was just a lot of penalties that started off the drives. They had some good returns on special teams, but you have dropping the snap, dropping the toss play from John Chapman. John Chambers. He dropped the snap, caused him another turnover. And it's just a lot of fundamental mistakes. Penalties was definitely killing their drives. Couldn't get nothing going on against a very physical front seven. The only thing that was working for them was just, attacking the line of scrimmage, but that can only last so long against this physical Lawndale defense.
And they're deep as well. And just to give you some numbers, Jordan Wilmore had 167 yards on 15 carries and 2 touchdowns. And gotta wonder, is that a disappointment? This might be the first game this season that he hasn't gotten 200 yards.
Yeah, it's, they seem like they're really trying to force the passing game, get Jalen Hamler really going. So I felt like they're going a little bit off the script, not giving Jordan Wilmore the ball. I felt like if they would have really stuck to their initial game plan that we see every single week, they will, he probably would have broken that 200 yards, definitely, and then 3 touchdowns. It's crazy to say, but is that an off game for Jordan Wilmore?
I don't think so, but he finally got it going. Well, actually, he had more yards in the first half than he did the second half. But and then also the 90-yard punt return, and that was good enough for a touchdown. So 257 yards all-purpose and 3 touchdowns. He didn't catch a pass this week like he did against San Pedro a week ago. And in the passing game, 3 out of 6 for 120 yards in the second half and 2 touchdowns for Jalen Hamler, and 4 out of 14 and 190 yards and 3 touchdowns for the game. So, yeah, they definitely had the passing game in mind tonight when they drew up the game plan.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, it wasn't really Jalen Hamler's night. And luckily, 3 out of the 4 completions that he had were touchdowns. So it's going to look good on the stat sheet. But if you really watch the game, you can see that he struggled for the most part. Was missing some wide open targets there, you connecting at the end of the game, for having those extra, couple touchdowns. And you can see where they were probably trying to get him another score at the end of the game before the clock ran out. Probably try to get the confidence back in the kid. He is what's going to go ahead and keep the offense going and make them more dynamic, having a great running game, also a great passing game as well. And, if that passing game is not on, then you could just see where they're only just could become one-dimensional. And
sure,
a team with a good defense could go ahead and capitalize off of a one-dimensional type of game.
And this is what the preseason is for, is to work out all those kinks. I want to go back to Jordan Wilmore's stats. It said he had a 90-yard touchdown. It was actually a 67-yard touchdown. He had 2 punt returns for 90 yards. So a good night for Jordan Wilmore. And for Jonathan Blackman, he had 2 catches for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, and ran the 70 to 75-yard dash just right past the Tartars.
It's Jonathan Blackman and Jordan Wilmore, their breakaway speed is unbelievable. You can see where they use their stride, separating from defenders. And Blackman, he was the one that put the first points on the board and definitely opened this game up for the Cardinals. And you can see where that definitely uplifted the whole entire offense and get their offense going. But once again, that breakaway speed that he has makes him a deep threat, and it's going to push secondaries back when they see this on the film. It's going to go ahead and push the secondaries back, which is going to that's what they want, to allow Jordan Wilmore to get going in the running game. And we saw what an efficient drive that he had. It wasn't one of those long plays, but it was his 3rd touchdown that he had in the game. Just an efficient drive where he was just
that was
chopping up on the field.
Long drive, yeah,
definitely.
That drive, let's see, on his last touchdown, that was a 10-play drive, 12-play drive that took 73 yards in 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
So they can do it short. They can do it in little chunks or big chunks.
It's definitely a big-time dynamic offense that's it's a force to be reckoned with, and they're gonna be having that confidence coming into league.
But just dream about this: the 2 final legs of the 4x100 relay, Blackman and Wilmore. Not bad.
Definitely.
But now it's time for our favorite time of the night, and that is who is the player of the game and who is the tip of the hat. And for the player of the game, we chose Jonathan Blackman because, like I said, he got the scoring going. So congratulations to Jonathan Blackman. 2 catches for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. And our tip of the hat is obviously
Jordan Wilmore. It's becoming a weekly routine where we see nothing but big-time touchdown runs by this guy.
And there you see Rufus Washington, the tip of the hat. Still love you, Rufus.
And, with Jordan Wilmore, he did it all whether it was on the ground, big plays on the ground, special teams. If not, eating up the whole entire drive, ground and pound leading up to a touchdown drive. Jordan Wilmore, tip of the hat.
All right. Well, for Sebastian Spencer and Egidio DeLeo, who is on assignment here, but still good to see him, and Darius Jackson, I'm Lou Stowers telling you once again the final score. Oh, before we do that, I want to tell you next week we will be at Hawthorne when Beverly Hills comes in for a culture shock into Hawthorne. And I don't mean that badly. It's just maybe you got too good a life up there in Beverly Hills, right? So it's going to be a good game for the Hawthorne Cougars trying to get back on the winning track after getting trounced at Lusinger in the Mayor's Cup. But once again, this is Lou Stowers for Darius and Sebastian and Egidio DeLeo and the terrific crew tonight being led by Eric Chavez. This is Lou Stowers telling you so long from Lawndale.